Are you excited about Canada? So in this edition, we'll bring you super exciting information about Canadian provinces, what you need to know about them, where you can live. If you're already in Canada, you can move to one part of it based on this analysis, or if you're still planning to come to Canada, here you have all the information. Do you like forested areas full of streams and ponds? And do you enjoy cold temperatures? Well, you're probably not a moose, in which case, how are you doing? However, the real question is all about Canada. Canada is the second largest country in the world after Russia. And if you don't like very cold weathers, then you should be very mindful if you're considering Canada. But one fun fact about Canada is that 85% of Canadians live 100 miles of the US border, which is just a short distance between Canada and the US. Canada covered in snow, like you can look at this man who seems to be like a snowman. But however, the funniest thing is that 93% of Canadians who love their home country because of the excellent education, high quality of life, and incredible city never mind, and all these benefits more than make up for the cold weather. So speaking of which, let's try to hit 1,000 likes on this video. So please, if you've not liked, please, you want to hit like now and subscribe and share this content to other people who might be needing to know a lot about Canada. And today we will be looking at Canadian cities ranked from the worst to the best and what it has to offer healthcare professionals. So before you put on your sweater or another jacket, a second jacket, a hat, a mitten, 2 pairs of pants, and enough socks to cut after circulation, or just moving out in a cold winter to look for a house because housing crisis is really crazy right now. If you're already living in Canada, these are the provinces that are ranked from the worst to the best based on economy, safety, living standards, education, quality of life, and opportunities for healthcare professionals. Number 10. Actually, we're going to start off with a quick honorable mention. It's not a true number 10, but the territories. The territories, sure, they're not provinces, population of around 125,000, but if you're looking to rank in terms of cash, Northwest Territory is actually home to the highest medium house income of 154,000 Canadian dollars, and Yukon isn't looking that bad as well, with about 129,000. Not to mention that the unemployment rate in these Northern Territories is about 5.2. But if you want to compare with the US, it's 8 point something above the Canadian one. However, living standards in Canada are also high, so that kind of like covers up and compensates for this. So, but one funny thing about the Northern Territories is they're pretty cold. They have minimal sunlight. Summers are pretty milder, and their winters are super cold. So for some people, it is not worth it, no matter the ton of cash that you're paying out there. So a lot of people don't want to live in the Northwest Territories. But however, let's go to the real number 10, Manitoba. Nearly twice as many people move out of Manitoba than in. And this is very surprising. Why? Manitoba, unfortunately, is the second most dangerous province in Canada and has the second lowest life expectancy, the worst schools in the nation. And although it is home to the lowest unemployment rate, the province's unemployment rate is still about 5.7, which is still pretty good compared to lots of industrialized countries. And they are very good paying jobs, will pay you, more than 300 grand. But the good news is that there's several abundant physician jobs and nursing jobs and pharmacists, which, are outliers. Physicians generally will gain about, 180 to about 300 grand for family physicians, and specialist physicians in Manitoba get about 400,000 per year. Registered nurses is somewhere around 60 to 90,000. And the ease of finding medical jobs is a little bit less complex compared to other jobs for other provinces and opportunities in cities like Winnipeg. And the cost of living and take-home pay in Manitoba, it's about 1,000 per month, which is lower compared to larger cities. And poverty rate here is about 11.5. And if all that isn't good enough to deter you, then did I mention it's the least happiest province, or that it gets frigid cold? In fact, Winnipeg is the coldest major city in North America, with most winters they reaching about minus 30 degrees Celsius. And if you thought the summers will even be better. Oh no, there are 110,000 lakes in Manitoba, and anyone saying lakes is talking about humidity. So the summers are super humid, and anyone saying humidity is talking about mosquitoes. So there are also lots of mosquitoes in Manitoba, so much so that there's a certain city that's called Mosquito in Ukrainian. But no, honestly, no province in Canada is a bad place to live in. Manitoba still has really high quality of life. It's just that, what Manitoba has, a lot of other Canadian provinces have even better. But the only thing that they have that most of the provinces don't have, they have polar bears. If you go to Churchill, you would see lots of polar bears. Churchill is the polar bear capital of the world. Number 9, Newfoundland and Labrador. The small towns lifestyle of Newfoundland Labrador is ranked as the 4th most satisfying in Canada, despite also being home to very little sunshine and really bad weather. St. John routinely ranks as the worst weather of any Canadian city, but speaking of St. John, it's likely the most beautiful in terms of colorful, picturing, charming city that you can have in Canada. It is so colorful that the houses are kind of like really painted in very bright colors. This is just to ignite you, to ease you off of the seasonal depression that you might have. If they don't lift your spirit, then George Street definitely will be, because it has the highest concentration of spots to drink. It's one of the most concentrated cities in North America. And if that does not still lift your spirit, then the people are definitely the thing that would lift your spirit, because Newfoundlanders might actually be the friendliest Canadians. And if that still doesn't lift your spirit, I'm so sad, because then seasonal depression is going to do that. Anyways, Newfoundland can easily become foggy, so it isn't for the faint-hearted. If you're someone who doesn't really like snow and all the whitish nature, then please, you don't want to go to Newfoundland and Labrador. But however, Newfoundland and Labrador is the 4th safest province. The schools are great, and the unemployment rate is about 12.1, which is like one of the highest in the nation. And the median home value, it's about 315 grand, which is really amazing. Medical jobs, there's physician, pharmacists, and it's really great. Same as Manitoba, 180 to about 300 for family physician, and specialist doctors way over 400 grand. Registered nurses, you're somewhere between 60 or 90 grand per year as salary. And the ease of finding jobs is not that complicated. So if you go to Newfoundland Labrador Health Careers, there's a link in the description, then you'll find lots of medical job postings there. And the average, number 8, Prince Edward Island, maybe the smallest province by both population and surface area, but that's not what they are really known for. It makes up for up to about 25% of the country's total yield in production of potato, and only about maybe 200 to 250 full residents are there. Maybe we have more potato there than a number of residents are there for sure. Well, at least its summers are also really very attracting, as you have a high influx of tourists that go there to spend the summer and enjoy the sea. So exploring the charming countryside and dipping your foot into the warmest ocean water north of Canada is really something that you would enjoy. Speaking of which, fishing and tourism and agriculture are pretty much the vibrant industries in this province. It's not really top for medical health professionals, but again, there's lots of opportunities. And you have a medium household income there being somewhere around 89,000, with unemployment rates being somewhere about 10.6 to about 11 right now. And since many people from the more expensive bigger cities have been moving into this particular town, the value and the lifestyle has been a little bit increasing, although there's been permission for remote working, and so home values have steadily gone up to about 36-40%. The most abundant medical jobs there is to be for physicians and pharmacists, and it's just the same as for the other provinces that we've seen earlier. And opportunities in Charlottetown and other urban areas are pretty much abundant. You can explore Prince Edward Island health jobs on the posting on the job link in the description. And the average cost of living there is pretty cheap. You have about 1,000 to 1,500 for the average monthly rent. So in terms of safety, Prince Edward Island is the third safest province, and they offer an overall lifestyle satisfaction in the country, and they have terrific beaches that are so nice. Verse 7, which is New Brunswick. But while many Canadians think of New Brunswick as the absolute worst, the statistics actually kind of say something else. Sure, there are no vibrant big cities and the economy is lacking with low minimum wage and median house income to be somewhere around 90 to about 100. Have you seen the coastline of New Brunswick? Not to mention the median home value is the lowest in Canada, just about somewhere say 300,000. So even with the lower salaries and high taxes, the poverty rate there is just 9.4, which is the third lowest of any province in Canada. And despite its nickname, there are actually really cool places in Fredericton that has, great art scene, tons of greenery. St. John is incredibly also beautiful, picturesque with historic buildings, so much beautiful and natural nature. And not to even mention that the ups and the coming uptown areas of Moncton are also great with abundant jobs, restaurants, nightlife, and these are the three main cities. It also is the #1 city in Canada, houses a majority of francophones outside of the province of Quebec. Which reminds me, if you want to move to New Brunswick, make sure you can speak French. Medical jobs are pretty abundant, same as other provinces, and you can check out Fredericton and Moncton, visit New Brunswick Health Careers. I've got the link in the description. And an average household rent in Fredericton, it's about $1,500 per month. You want to check that out. And that brings us to shore Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan gets really cold with temperatures often dropping to minus 40 degrees Celsius, but would you rather be warm or rich? Because Saskatchewan is pretty rich. Despite the frigid environment and boring landscape, they have the second highest life satisfaction rate of any province in Canada. And I'm guessing that this is really something to do with them having the second highest median household income in Canada of about 120,000 per year. In addition to them having this wonderful medium home income, even though it's very cold for more than half of the year, Saskatchewan is still one of the sunniest provinces in Canada. Speaking of which, those clear skies also make it one of the best places to see the northern lights, to see aurora when you're in Saskatchewan. Regina and Saskatchewan are both great small cities with growing economies and a ton of stuff to be done there. But the rest of the province is really just struggling, in terms of the economy. There's nothing really great there for you to see. Prince Albert, for example, has poverty rates that's nearing 25%, which has led to being one of the most dangerous cities in Canada. So if you're in Saskatchewan, you want to be very cautious about living in Prince Albert's town, and you have the crime rates in Saskatchewan is 495% above the national average. There's abundant physician, nurses, and pharmacists job, and the median family for physician here is different, it's higher. It's from 200 grand to about 250 for family physicians, and specialist physicians is from 500 grand upward. And you have registered nurses is also higher, it's from 70 grand to about 100 grand per year. And you can easily get medical jobs in Saskatchewan Health Authority for job opportunities. I've got the link in the description. And that takes us to number 5. Nova Scotia, the smallest province by total area. From its amazing, stunning beaches to forests, lakes, rivers, charming villages, and neighborhoods like Lunenburg, Nova Scotia does not waste any space. It makes sure that it uses all of its space literally. Basically, if you want to live a quiet life in a very beautiful, nice scenery, look no farther than going to Nova Scotia. And if you want to live less quiet life and most beautiful scenery, also look no farther than Halifax, because Halifax is one of the best cities in Canada with a diverse, booming economy. And since the markets it's undersaturated in most of the industries, it's a great place for you to start a business. They're looking for people to start a business. There's much funds for startups, so you want to look at that. And the medium household income there is 90 to 100,000 per year, and the population continues to grow. So Nova Scotia has pretty mild weather by Canadian standard, at least, for healthcare professionals, abundant jobs. Physicians, family physicians are between 180 to 300,000 per year, and the specialists, doctors are 400. It goes down a little bit from Saskatchewan, and then registered nurses about 60 to 90. And there's several job opportunities in Halifax and in urban centers. If you explore Nova Scotia Health Authority and job listings, you're gonna see a lot. And now let's go to number 4, because we can't do anything without talking about British Columbia. Sorry, Nova Scotia, British Columbia beats you in this one. With places like Vancouver Island, British Columbia is far the most beautiful, diverse, vibrant city and province in Canada. And it's not even close. Other provinces are way lagging behind. But if you thought BC stood for actually British Columbia, I guess you're making a mistake, because British Columbia actually stands for big catch. Because the median home value for you to purchase a house in British Columbia, you need about 1 million. Incredibly hard for a regular Canadian to then compete. The economy is so incredible, however, with the highest GDP growth of any province and tons of good paying jobs as well. So healthcare professionals, you are really highly paid here in British Columbia. Remember my video where I talked about Fraser Health in British Columbia hiring? Yeah, you can check that out. And if you have any questions or comment, please leave us a message through our email in the chat. British Columbia has the lowest unemployment rate as well, as the 4th highest median household income of about 150 grand per year. So the stress of money can be bad, considering British Columbia also has the 2nd highest life expectancy at about 84 years. And if you're not that outdoorsy type, there's still plenty here in British Columbia for you to do. There's a gorgeous, bustling, multicultural cities of Victoria is one of the most charming places where you definitely want to spend your vacation. Not to mention that there's also home of the mildest climate in Canada. But there's one also big problem that you really want to consider for British Columbia because of the opioid crisis. There's lots of stuff happening with homeless people now and the opioid crisis, so you definitely want to check out on that. Without further ado, number 3. And number 3 is Ontario, also home to where we have the capital city of Canada. Whether you want to live in big cities, small cities, beach towns, or even countryside, Ontario has all of it. Name it, anywhere you want to go. Toronto, which is the most incredible city, increasingly safe and clean despite the massiveness of influx of immigrants. Not to mention that it is the most beautiful and multicultural city in the world, but there's also so much more other multicultural cities in other Canadian province. So from beautiful shorelines across 4 Great Lakes of the Niagara Falls regions to when we meet the Canyon and Thousand Island National Park, the 2nd largest province by total surface area. Ontario is the economic jungle. It is the economic hub of the country, with nearly 40% of the national GDP coming from the province of Ontario. So you shouldn't have a hard time finding a job if you're looking for a job. Remember, for you to purchase a house in Ontario, single detached, you need about $1,500,000. So which is way high compared to the entire Canada. If you want to mingle a little bit with politics, you should be looking at Ottawa. It is also very bilingual. So if you have kids and honestly you want to learn a 2nd language, please make sure you pick on Ottawa. And for physicians, nurses, and pharmacists, there's tons of jobs with family physicians, average salary somewhere around $250K, and the specialists being somewhere around $500K. Registered nurses are somewhere around 90s. And you can get jobs from like Health Force Ontario. I have left the links in the description, please you want to check it out. But remember, the medium rents in Ontario are about 2,200 Canadian dollars per month. To number 2, the beautiful province of Alberta. You've likely seen images of Alberta grazing cover, amazing, and travel all across social media. But beside the majestic mountains, the lakes of Banff and Jasper, Alberta has to offer a lot in terms of incredibly high quality of life, mainly thanks to the oil that is abundant in the region, which has helped the province achieve by far the highest median household income of about 120 grand, as well as the fourth lowest unemployment rate in the country with just below 7%. Yet despite these high paychecks, the cost of living still incredibly low, coupled to the very incredible low taxes that the people in Alberta have to pay. Medium house here is about somewhere 500 to 600 grand, which is way lower compared for how big Alberta is as a province. Talking about the beautiful cities of Calgary downtown and Edmonton as well. And so medical practitioners, of course, will have the highest paycheck in this province, with family physicians ranging from somewhere above 200 grand or 250 to specialist physician getting way above 500, and nurses getting somewhere around 100 grand on average per year. So this is really great. And there is high demand for these jobs in cities like Calgary and Edmonton. And if you visit Alberta Health Services and look for job opportunities, then you can definitely see c'est Quebec. La province de Québec, c'est meilleur dans tout le Canada. So the Quebec stands out as one of the best provinces in Canada for its vibrant culture, its rich history, its diverse opportunities. Its dynamic cities like Montreal offers a unique blend of the European charm and the North American hustle. It's really that melting pot. With affordable healthcare, excellent education, thriving job market, Quebec provides a high quality of life for residents. It pictures landscape includes Laurentian Mountains and St. Lawrence River, offering unparalleled natural beauty, boasting of a strong sense of identity and inclusivity. Quebec celebrates diversity and embraces multiculturalism. Overall, Quebec's unique blend of culture, opportunity, quality of life makes it top of the choice for residents and visitors alike. Donc, si tu veux vivre, si tu viens d'arriver au Canada, dans le Québec, c'est l'endroit où il faut aller si vous êtes parfaitement bilingue, même si vous parlez juste français, là, vous pouvez partir à Québec parce que Québec, il y a la vie qui est moins chère. C'est juste un blindage du système européen et la façon de se battre américain qui s'est réunis ensemble dans une même province, et c'est tellement magnifique, c'est tellement belle, et la vie est très moins chère par rapport aux autres provinces du Canada, mais les médecins aussi sont bien rémunérés au Québec. Donc pour un médecin de famille,